So listen, this is kind of a big year for you. Let's talk about this. Facebook gaming, moving to Poland. What is going on, my guy? What have you decided to do with life?
I play for a football team, Poland, in like the 7th tier Polish football. I don't even play.
That's
like,
kind of wild, yeah. What the hell? Are you that good? Or are they that bad?
I'm alright. I've got like football brain, I guess, but fitness levels I can't catch up at all. So I find that kind of mental.
They're just like, he's British. Put him on the squad. He's British. All right, beef. We gotta talk about beef. I feel like you've had more beef than anyone else I know in this FIFA community, bro. What's the beef stuff? Haber. Then you had like that. Oh, I forgot the guy's name. Thorgan mixtape. He did a terrible mixtape.
You're listening to Board with Nelly.
We're good to go, my guy.
I actually worked out how to get my actual camera, so I feel.
Yeah, this is money. This is money. I can see into your eyes. This is beautiful. It's a moment. I feel.
Yeah, I feel like I should have glasses up, because I feel like there's too many reflections. Like I always feel that way with glasses. Because I do wear contact lens. I mean, I can see you fans, so to be fair, I don't really need to wear glasses. Really, it's just to make sure that I don't look ugly, which I do always. So makes no difference.
I'm telling you right now, no one's watching or listening to this podcast for the way you look. It's a bunch of dudes. It's like 99% dudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but how do you know what those dudes' sexuality is? You know, it's 2020.
I guess that's fair. I guess that's a fair counterpoint.
Yeah. And you also have American viewers, and Americans are weird.
I do have American viewers. I don't know how you know that, but you know my analytics?
I was presumed.
Oh, very, very presumptuous.
Yeah, I mean...
That's my second biggest audience.
I was thinking, what the fuck is my main view? I think like what America are to my views. I feel like 4th. For some reason I get like Ireland is its own country, and that for some reason adds up as a lot of people for some reason. I don't know why. Ireland's like big for me.
Ireland?
Yeah, I don't know why. Ireland, and I think it's like Australia as well. It's like in top 5, I think. I don't know.
So when you blow up, you can do one of those weird, like, outside of a store meetings with fans?
I mean,
you have a realization that your audience is all 10-year-olds, and you're just like, I don't know what to do.
I meet enough anyway by going burn the game, so like...
Oh, okay,
I meet
true.
enough with them. Yeah, like it's somewhat common, but it's funny because like in Burnley, I'm like the main fucking thing. It's like there's no other Burnley influencers or YouTubers out there. I'm the only one.
I am shocked,
especially if you're like a fucking, especially if you're like a lad and you're into football. Everyone fucking has heard of me. And the thing is, though, like I could tell when they've actually watched my channel because they reference memes for like 2 years ago. They just keep on screaming "Demon." I'm like, that meme was 2 years ago, man. For fuck's sake, like just let it go.
That's awesome.
Anyway,
That's kind of nice. We've started. Listen, I'm not really a formal introduction. I don't like to do it that way. I kind of like the Joe Rogan experience where he just kind of dives into it. My guest, Liam, been doing YouTube for what, 8-9 years? I feel like you've been doing this thing since birth.
I've uploaded enough, man. I've uploaded way too much, man. Since I guess officially 2012, 13 when I did it properly. So for long enough that my dad can actually give me more respect that he didn't give me when I was younger. So yeah,
sure. When did it become a full-time thing? When did you start doing like a career path?
I'll say FIFA 17, late end of that. So I basically ended up going to university, and I was in two minds thinking I could just stay the easy path and just come to my uni course, which I did. I studied interactive media design. I wanted to do graphic design. I had 5 choices. 4 of them were all graphic design. I got declined in each one. So the only one that took me was interactive media design, which I didn't care about half of it because it was to do like coding websites. I was like,
yeah, that's tough.
Coding, man. So basically, I was in two minds, and I did a video. And it kind of started doing well. It did kind of well, and I thought, okay. And one thing led to another, and basically, I want to say like early FIFA 18 was when I guess financially enough,
nice.
I could actually make it my job.
Nice. But you just missed that like coin selling like boom era, right? You were just like 2 years maybe, and you could have been a millionaire.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, like I was at a call with Bazinga the other night, and like, I think he says that he probably wouldn't be anywhere near YouTube if that was still a thing nowadays. Like, I don't know how much they actually got paid, but like, from what I've been speculated, it's like
Yeah.
disgusting amounts. I think every single YouTuber past that era is kind of all hoping they kind of blew up in that zone, so they could get like an easy 200K. I'd be like, all right, peace, I'm done.
Right. It's unfortunate because like now it's not really as like luxurious unless you really get to that point where you're like, you know, averaging, I don't know, 100, 200,000 views a video. You missed like the most simplest time to cash out, which was like, you don't have to battle a YouTube algorithm. You could just like upload a Road to Glory and everyone would get it in their notification box. There was no like controversies with stuff like that.
I started like making somewhat of a name in the community back in like FIFA 16, and by then it was like the end. You know, that was when price ranges were already in full effect, and it wasn't really a thing back then, sadly.
So how do you feel about FIFA? Like, I don't know, past year or so. How do you feel about, you know, content creation
in terms of the community?
Yeah, like, are you still enjoying because like, yes, like I said, you've done this for so long. I'm wondering what the like. How do you like? You feel burned out? Do you feel? Are you excited to make videos, or is it become like a job? Like you've had real jobs, obviously. So like, how do you compare it to what you currently do in life?
In terms of the community, I don't really watch. I'll be honest, really any real FIFA content other than like 3 or 4. I watch like the odd like Crassy video or the odd like FNG makes a video. I don't watch any like anyone else because most of them they always feel like the same thing, because there's another RTG which has been the same thing since FIFA 14, and there's the same After Glory that's been the same thing since FIFA 16, and the same back opening of Foot Champions Rivals Awards, and that's been the same thing since 17. Like, there's nothing new at all other than the actual individual creator, which makes it unique themselves. So, for example, I think it's Mac Gel. Like, he's coming to see recently, and I watch his stuff actually because he makes it unique per time, and that's the main thing. That you've got to be unique per time. Otherwise, what is there really to you as a brand to make yourself stand out? If most people seen, it's just gone. So I mean, it's not really FIFA's fault or like their fault, because of YouTube, you have to be a lot more PG now. It's gonna be longer videos, and it's kind of limited the scene of what they can really achieve, which is annoying, really.
There's more like, I don't know, it's more like a game, kind of like you have to play this game that they've set up. You have to make videos in this certain format, or realistically, you just won't succeed. Like, if you can say all you want, oh, I'm going to make a, original Road to Glory, but like, at the end of the day, that shit doesn't get views. It's like, packs obviously get views. Like,
I mean, I'm not particularly known for packs, though. For me, like, for me personally, I've never found pack opening videos to actually be that well. And if I do get a video which is a pack opening video, it's never really titled, and the thumbnail isn't really in a way which is an obvious pack opening video. Like, I kind of have a more sort of twist to a title, because if it's just the same old OMG insane walkout in a pack for the 8th time this week alone, then it kind of gets a bit long, especially when it's been the same concept for 3-4 years in a row, even further than that, really. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, so you did start making some kind of newer, interesting ideas, try to throw in some green screen effects, make some jokes. How is that going for you? Is that enjoyable content? Are people responding well to it?
Yeah, the green screen stuff I brought out, and that was like before FIFA, because I just kind of got a bit bored. It's a dry stage before the new FIFA game, so you've got to try out new things. And I've always been that kind of guy, which I've always tried out different like styles. And I remember watching a guy called Nicky Jakey, which is a fantastic YouTuber.
Yeah,
and, like,
with the ball. He has the little ball.
Green screen the ball. I love that, and I thought, okay, I love that. So I thought I'll try that style. I've always mentioned it to my girlfriend, just like, oh, I love that kind of stuff. And literally one day she just bought me this green screen and said, okay, do it then. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Put your mouth where your money is, or whatever the expression is.
Yeah, so I did it, and like I thought they were good videos, but I feel like there's this weird sort of thing with YouTube that the more effort you put into a video, the worse it always does. But the least effort you put into videos, the more views it gets. It's like there's this 100%. Weird thing with YouTube that like you can put as much effort as one in a video, but as long as YouTube is not on your side, it makes no real difference of how good the video is.
100%.
If you get lucky and that video does get really good views, and it is also a video which has got amazing view duration potential and it's got good editing the entire way through, then you smashed it. And that hopefully that person will subscribe and maybe like you. That's why I always enjoy doing the 100 Things We Hate videos about each FIFA, because people think it's like the same thing, and it's like a 10-hour long thing. It's so long to get your clips for every single number, and it's a long video. It's edited well, and I always enjoy that because typically they always do well on my channel, because I think that's just a thing that I'm known for, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you maybe you see it the same way kind of how I see it? Like, I obviously love football. I obviously really was passionate about FIFA when I first started out, but for me, it was kind of more of an avenue to just like be creative, tell jokes, maybe even tell a story. I don't know. That was for me more the interesting part. I feel like FIFA gameplay within itself is kind of, I don't want to say dead, but like it's not as exciting. But like this opportunity to just, I don't know, either be a goof or be a character or tell these jokes, which is what you do in these kind of videos, right? That's kind of the more appealing part.
I feel like I've never been known for my just particular gameplay. Like you can look at, let's say, for example, Bateson, and he's known for his pack openings. You can look at Fuji or Lasty, and they're known for their RTGs, or Nick 20, they're known for their RTGs and whatever else. Which their main knowledge, which people go to them for, is or gameplay for packs and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what people come to me for. I think it's kind of turned into a more of a kind of foot champions based sort of skits and top 10 sort of stuff. And I want to try and, because the most important thing with a business aspect is, what is your USP? What is your unique selling point? Mine is, I want to try and be that one guy in the scene which is known for give you the top 10 kind of stuff, like 50 things and 10 things, and like I feel like it involves a
creative
number,
lists, almost like these creative lists. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah, stuff like that. I kind of feel like that's not really a thing that's in the scene. Like if you watch like Fortnite or Call of Duty or Minecraft, there's always like sort of videos that does well. And if you solidify yourself as that kind of person, then I feel like that's a good thing to be part of, because I'm never going to be known as an RPG person or a career mode person. I've always done career modes. It's never been serious. It's more just been like a meme. Hey, look, I can fan what's a striker. Watch me. That's really it.
Right. What's the bigger goal, I guess, for the future? Because like I said earlier, you've been in this FIFA scene for 8 years. Like, what's the driving force? What's your big ambition, I guess, going forward? I feel like you've done, I would say, what 98% of people have probably wanted to do if they want to be FIFA content creators, right? So, like, what drives you to make more content?
In terms of more content, I kind of always feel like I can always offer more. I feel like in terms of this community, I know that I have a place in it, which I feel like is very needed. Because I feel like it's almost very the same. I feel like a lot of people, they're just relying on having packs as their main thing. And I never want to be that guy, because I feel like without the packs, then what other videos can you make? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've always tried to reach out into different kind of scenes, like the football. I'm known for my Burnley vlogs and go to actual football games, tier lists, some like actual real life football based topics. And most videos have done pretty well, some poor, some really good, so kind of mixed. And I've got that sort of thing going for me. So I can delve more into the in real life football scene. Like, for example, like let's say Niren FNG, he was just a simple FIFA creator, banged FTW. Now he's, to be fair, gets more views on his in real life football stuff than what he does for his FIFA. But saying that his editing and his style is very unique to himself, and he's bagged that, like he smashed it out of the park. So,
right. You really just need one good idea, realistically. You don't, I mean, people always have this notion that you need to like bang out like a fucking, I don't know, million view video every time, but it's more important to just get a good series, a good idea that you can kind of run with. Like, there's some dudes that are still getting checks for their 2013 squad builder showdown videos.
Yeah, I don't know how that actually works out. For like, fair play. You would think about like the fourth or fifth FIFA, it would kind of like, okay,
still
we've seen it for 5 years now, but I find it mad. But fair play, that obviously shows that is a great idea. That because how many times it's the same concept, there's still something new each time, some sort of originality and uniqueness, which is honestly fair play for them for making that sort of series. It's honestly.
FNG is like a great example of a guy that just figured it out. Like he was making content, right, that was mostly FIFA related, I assume. I don't know, he's a Formula 1 guy as well, I think, but he kind of just got an idea for a really good like meme football show and found a way to incorporate
Like
it.
it's not like an original. It's not like an original idea. You know.
No, it's nothing crazy.
It's literally just got. I think it doesn't mind me saying it, but he got lucky in terms of like his first video, which was well edited, and that it just banged instantly. Like that one video, if your first video just instantly bangs, then it's just like that's so rare. But like, you could have took that and just thought, okay, and may go a wrong way about it, but he just kept up the quality of it each time, and he took advantage of that completely. And look where he is now. It's mental.
It's crazy.
Mad proud for the guy, man.
That's the thing. I think with YouTube, that's how I see it. At least I don't see it as like, oh, I figured out how to do this thing yet, or I figured out what I really want to be doing. It's just like I like what I'm doing in a sense that I want to keep like improving at it, and then if I ever strike gold with a really good idea one day and like I can actually make some sort of career or living out of it, then I'll figure out what to do. But until then, like just making content because like I enjoy making content. Like I don't necessarily need to have this like grand finale
with you though, because like you were in like a very like just peaceful area, because like your main like livelihood is not based off YouTube. It's not based on this, is it? So you could just do whatever you want to do, and if it doesn't do that well, it's like, okay, cool, I'll just move to the next one. It's not that much of a big deal. Of course, maybe your ego may go down a bit because you're like, oh, I just put like 5 hours into this video.
A massive cock and a massive ego, my guy. I can't take that.
But like you're in a peaceful area where like you could just add new things, and if it does well, does well, and then okay, cool. At least you tried it. And I guess with me, like I know what thing certainly works. And that, like I always know that each year there will always be a Rage compilation that will always do well. I know each year there will always be a 100 Things We Hate video that always does well. I know these type of videos always do well, and I've just got to wait for the right time to put out that video. I've got like literally, I've got a list, a notepad document on my actual PC. There has like 25 plus video ideas, which I'm just waiting for the right time to upload it, because it needs to be, spaces between videos.
Of course.
Out. Otherwise, because especially the start of FIFA, people always just smash out so many videos. And I've done that, but my videos have been very simplistic, some more than others. And my actual main ideal bangers, I'm just kind of putting out now, which I know will do well and will pay the bills and everything else.
I get it. I was gonna say, I have a little board. I don't know if you can see right behind me. Like it's just random ideas for videos, and some of them I like, some of them I don't like, some of them I sleep on for a month. Some ideas I've slept on for like a year, and I've come back to them like that's a fucking great idea. I'll just do that. So I like that. I like that mentality. But okay, so listen, this is kind of a big year for you. Let's talk about this. Facebook gaming, moving to Poland. What is going on, my guy? What have you decided to do with life? You just completely just took a 180 or something, right?
I say like a 180, to be fair. Like, I'm still doing my thing. Of course, one major impact in my life as a couple, my girlfriend, Sonia, known her for, officially been together for over a year, together since 13th of September. If I don't know that, then she'll kill me, of course. You know what it's like.
On record, he didn't know that. So if she looks back at this podcast, she'll be like, okay, I won't beat him tonight.
Like, no, it's actually the 12th of September. It was actually like... half an hour before the 13th. Actually, definitely take it. No, shut up. But yeah, like it's been a mad year. I kind of always feel like, let's say about Poland for example. The reason,
this is a big topic. This is a big topic. I like this.
I mean, the reason why the Poland thing happened, I've already done a video on it. Which, if you want to go more depth, then that video's on my channel. I think it's like why
I might have seen it.
Yeah, if you are watching this and you're intrigued to go and have a look at it into more depth, then feel free. But essentially, basically, due to a certain YouTuber house that I was in, which I'm sure we maybe popped into later on in this podcast, but me and my girlfriend, which we only just got together, basically, we had to find a house in a pretty short space of time, due to variable reasons, and we found a house in St Helens in around Manchester, Liverpool area, which was a very short space of time, and it was away from my family, like an hour away, kind of awkward, but it was close enough from Burnley so I can get to games and whatever else. We knew that was not going to be our main place. We was then looking for a place in Burnley where my family is around like Christmas time, like December. We was already there for like 3 months, and don't know if you know much about Burnley, but it's not really a nice place in terms of the looks of houses and the value you get for it, really.
Right.
I've already lived there, of course. I got my own property when I was originally in Newcastle back in 2018. I moved back home for a full year with like a rent of like £575. And it was a family house. Like, it was only just me. And I'm still surprised to this day how they sold it to me for rent.
Right.
But like, it was a family house suitable for a family of 5, family of 4. And it was just me there. So
That's crazy.
back home, and it was like cool to like have my friends in my house and like, you know, have like little parties here and there. I was like, oh, it's really cool. But I kind of realized that like, other than my mates being there, and Burnley Football Club, there's nothing there that really offers me anything. And of course, my family. But I was just kind of thinking, could go back to Burnley, I could just live the same life. And I was kind of thinking, I'm like 22, I do YouTube, I can do my job anywhere. And of course,
Right.
my girlfriend is in fact Polish. She's lived in England since she was like 8 years old down South End, London. But she was like, "Oh, how about like we look at Poland?" I was like, "What even is Poland?" I was so like thinking, "What would it actually?"
You got
look
your
like?
Brexit cap on, right? You're like,
Yeah, I was just there
You're
thinking,
like-
"What does Poland look like?" And I was just thinking, it's just fields. What? I think most people from like England and I don't know what the American view of Poland is, but like you think of like Slav and like, you know, there's Slav squats with like fucking vodka and there's people that saying kurva, and that's just all the countries of fields and it's just cold
Right.
all the time. And honestly, it's absolutely mental. Like Poland, I love it. It's cheap as chips, good weather. There's so much to do. There's like theme parks and football and tennis courts and like mountains and like you can just chill, cafes, whatever. Like it's honestly just
It's
like
hype.
England, just
Right.
like England, but cheaper and better weather. Genuinely, that's
Wow.
that's the best way I could describe it. And
Have you experienced winter though? Have you experienced winter yet?
starts to hit winter now,
All
but
right, all right.
I'm
That's-
a winter person. I like the cold.
Oh.
I like the idea of snow, so I like that.
Okay. All right. Well, give me a guide for actually not me. Give the audience a guide, like a British person's guide to Poland. You know, you can educate a lot of young bucks who might have similar aspirations of meeting a Polish girlfriend and moving to Poland.
Okay, so my 5 tips for all fellow
This is a
men.
list.
Fellow men and women, the 5 women that's probably you know, on this video right now, the 5 women.
It's way too high, but all right.
5 tips for you scallywags. First tip is simply what everyone tells you. It's so fucking cheap. It's so cheap. Like, especially the main thing why I think most people may be interested in is Pivo. It's honestly
Pivo.
cheaper than water. It's like 30-40p for like a bottle in a shop. So for example, currency here is zloty, which 5 zloty is like £1. It's like a shop which is you know, like, I forgot the name, like Kaufland or whatever else. There's Tesco and there's Lidl over still here. And Zabka, and these shops, they have like beer for like 2 zloty 40. You go to a
Wow.
pub or a restaurant, pints is like £3. Sorry, 3 zloty 50.
That's-
And this is not just because I'm an alcoholic, but it's definitely
Yeah.
helpful when Burnley are awful. It's definitely helpful. So I think it's a good place for like a lad's holiday. You know, people always go to like Spain or like Ibiza or whatever else, but no one
Yeah.
thinks of Poland, and it's honestly the cheapest place I've ever seen for beer. It's crazy. Number 2 is that girls. I'm a potentially future married man. I hope I'm locked in, but my God,
Let's not get canceled. Let's not get canceled here tonight. Let's.
I'm not gonna cancel, but like, for example, one of my best friends came to Poland, to come see me, come see my girlfriend, and like to see like what's life like over here for us. And I took him to a theme park. It's called Energylandia. Amazing. Like it's like Alton Towers. If you're from UK, it's like Alton Towers, or you have like 4 flags or what's called flags.
We got 6 flags in Canada. I don't know.
It's flags. You guys got like bare theme parks. It's basically like one of them, like a massive one, but it's got 4 times less people.
That's awesome.
It's like
That's the best.
£20.
I hate people. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I hate people too. just walking around, just sees bare girls everywhere. He's like, yo, she's fit. Yo, she's fit. Like, whoa, they're both fit. I'm like, welcome to Poland.
Right.
Just say like, like every single girl is like
good
all
genes.
like all typical like Polish like
Blonde
I don't know
hair.
like. I don't want to go too descriptive because I'm of course a married man, of course.
Of course.
In wedlock. But if you like woman, then I guess that's for you. I guess number 3 is weather is actually the weather here. So in UK, it could be July and it could be piss wet, raining and cold, but like over here, I think I was here the entire summer between like June and all that kind of stuff. And I think it rained 2 times and I was only at night because typically if it's really hot, it gets really like thunderstorms like late at night because that's how the weather But when it's winter, it's cold, and it's autumn, it's just kind of chilly. And it's spring, it's kind of hot. So winter actually makes sense. Also, it's just best to do it, man. I play for a football team, Poland, in like the 7th tier Polish football. I don't even play.
That's
like,
kind of wild, yeah. What the hell? Are you that good? Or are they that bad?
I'm alright. I've got a football brain, I guess, but fitness levels, I can't catch up at all. So I find that kind of mental.
They're just like, he's British. Put him on the squad. He's British.
They're like, oh, he's English? Yo, we got ourselves goddamn Marcus Rashford here, but white.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing as well, if you are thinking about what Poland is like, Poland is literally exactly the opposite of what you maybe think it is. Like, I don't see any homeless people here. I don't really see many drunks. I don't live in a city, I guess. Maybe that's why. But I don't see many drunks here at all. Like, it's very clean. Like, everything's looked after. Mountains are beautiful and hills. And, of course, I've not forgot my roots. I still love England. But, like, I'm just going to go see new things, man.
Yeah, there's this perception that, like, Poland and, like, Eastern European countries where I'm from, Serbia, like, they're, like, these they're from, like, third world countries when, like, the reality is, like, boys, these places are awesome. Like, they're dirt cheap, like you said. So if you're coming over with even like remotely any money, you can live very comfortably there. The people are nice. They're good looking. Like, we have good weather. Like, we have everything, but like basically the bigger things are like we don't have a massive industry or something like that.
There's still massive shopping centers. There's still massive shopping malls.
Yeah.
There's still McDonald's if you want Mackey's. I think Mackey's and KFC is much better here in England. Like, KFC in England's like sweaty, but like here it's like peng. I love it. Like, I've never had KFC so much because like it actually just tastes like actual chicken. Like, it's so peng. Definitely did not gain any weight when I first moved there. Definitely not. But like, you understand because like you have been to Eastern Europe, you've been to Serbia, and like
I've lived there.
I guess so like you know what it's like. And I guess if you're someone that's not from ever been to Eastern Europe, you just kind of have like a vague sort of, is it just all like communism, like Soviet Union stuff? It's like, it's not, we're not like some backwards end of like Russia, which like 5 people live at, you know what I mean?
Poland is also what most people don't know is one of the countries like on the up and coming. There's a lot of like, I know personally, a lot of automotive industry moving to Poland. So they're like in this like nice boom area where like they're actually starting to get a nice industry, and that's a great place to live, I feel. So
there's only one negative really with Poland, which is you can't really look over, and that is really that is debatably a bit racist.
Okay.
It is debatably a bit anti-LGBTQ, which is kind of off-putting. Like, for example, there's literally like 1/5 of the country, like the south. I live in southwest, a place called Cheshire, near Bielsko-Biała, Katowice. But the south west, which is literally an anti-LGBTQ free zone. Like, it literally has got signs where it's literally an anti-zone. It's like it's proper backwards. It's because it's a very Christian country.
Yeah,
very Christian.
That's true. Very religious, right?
Extremely. And for example, in recent news, they of course apparently like officially like banned abortions. If like the child is like going to be disabled, like you can't like abort them. Like you gotta give birth, which in most countries is always a woman's choice. It's had a lot of protests recently, which like it is fucked. To be honest,
right?
I'm always like pro-choice. Like it's just like what you do, whatever you want to do. You know, I'm not Christian. I don't really care that much.
I mean, isn't this a problem in other places too? Like, isn't there places in, I don't know. I mean, I know places in America, the super racist places. There's probably places in Britain that are kind of racist, right? Like, no country's got a perfect
there's
setup,
not a legitimate anti-LGBTQ free zone.
Okay.
There's not like a legitimate, no, like that's an actual thing here because it's very Christian, like because it goes against the Bible and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not like. More, what was the word for? I forgot the word. When you are religious, I'm done.
I know what it is too. I forgot it. Atheist.
I'm a moron. Atheist, yeah. I'm more towards atheist than agnostic potentially because of my upbringing. I have no reason to really believe in a god, really. Like, my mum died at age of 13. Like, that's kind of fucked up. So, because of that reason, like I thought, why would he want that? So yeah, I guess that's the one negative. Like I've been here for like 5 months now in Poland. And I think I've seen potentially 4 people who are black. It's really like
really.
I've seen 4 people who are black, and there's like they're all Polish. They speak Polish, but like
Wow.
it's a really rare thing, honestly.
Right. Well, Poland. What an interesting. How's the Polish language going? Are you learning?
Mental. It's absolutely like.
Is it hard?
Mental.
Is Polish hard?
Yeah, because there's so many different words that changes based on which context it's in. So like the word play, you may have seen that meme. There's like 121 ways to say the word play, basically, based on what context, who it's with, if it's you, if it's a family, if it's a dog, whether it is, like it's different contexts. It's ridiculous, man. I can say basic words like, like dzień dobry is good morning, and dobra noc is good night, and I can say like mleko is milk and chleb is bread. I go to a shop and ask for food, and duja and małe is big and
Pivo.
small, and yeah, pivo. I know pivo. So that gets me so. I can say
Polish
duja.
is
Big
similar
beer.
to Serbian. Right.
Any similarity between Serbian Polish language?
Very similar. Like all those words you said, milk, bread. Like I know all of that. Like I actually had a Polish girlfriend years ago, so I was kind of learning Polish just for funsies, and it's probably one of the easier languages for me to pick up.
Really?
But I could see for anyone.
Like a Serbian root that you
because of the roots
to pronounce. But it's like I can't roll my R's, so like, I'm absolutely awful. You need to roll your R's properly in most words. Like you say kulva, and like that means nothing. Like because it's like they go kulava, like it's mad.
Have you been accepted in the Polish community? Do they love you?
I mean, a lot of people try. I know, like I play for like a football team, and like my girlfriend's brother and all his mates, they all like me in like that group because they see me as like a really unique and organic. They're like, oh, he's the English guy, but he's a YouTuber as well. And he's like, wait, no way, wait, but he's also like, he's met KSI. And you're like, what? And then they find out. Yeah, because like I've actually been
awesome.
I put like a tweet like a week ago, maybe a month ago actually, but like I actually got like invited to like a high school in Poland to like actually like talk to them about like. I wasn't even lying. Like I got invited to like the English class because one of his mates. They asked him like, "Oh, does anyone know anyone that's like interesting or like English or like famous?" And they said, "Oh, I know a YouTuber." And apparently everyone went mad. I was like, "Oh, it's a YouTuber!" So I went around and basically just spoke about what it's like in England and like what it's like being an English person in Poland.
Dude,
and they can speak really good English. Like people think that, like,
of course,
dumb, but like the education system is so strict here. Like my mate from back home he burned the school down 2 times and still did not get kicked out. You get kicked out here for like not doing your homework 2 weeks in a row. It's crazy. Crazy, man.
You can be like almost like an icon there. There's this Serbian guy that played football and he played for like some of the bigger clubs. I think AC Milan was one of them. And then in the prime of his career, this dude just said, "Nah, fuck this." So he moved to Brazil and he played in the Brazilian league. And he was literally like 10 levels ahead of anyone. He was playing for like elite European clubs. So in his prime, he went to Brazil. And this guy played in the Brazilian league for like 10, 15 years. He played for all like Flamengo, all these big Brazilian teams, and he won every team a title. And literally, I can't remember which stadium. One of the Brazilian stadiums has like a statue of him next to Zico, the famous Brazilian goalie. Rambo Petkovic is a Serbian guy, and I see like a similar angle from you. I feel like you can become like a cult icon. That's what this guy did. He just said, "Fuck it, what's like the point of being mediocre in Britain? I'm gonna be a god here," and he just moved to like Brazil, and he just became a god.
I mean, I guess being a footballer is definitely a lot more cooler than being
sure.
But to be fair, but I guess like because they don't know anyone that's like English around there, so they like
sure.
When Polish
you're
people,
exotic.
When they think of England, they think of just London. Like England is London, and that's it. Like the north, still Leeds does not exist. So when they heard my voice, they heard my accent. They were like, "He doesn't sound like."
Was he from Canada?
He doesn't sound like Queen Elizabeth. What's going on here? I told about the North of England, like the North. What?
Right.
Manchester. I know Manchester United. That is it. It's like,
that's it. It's London and Manchester United. Okay, so let's go back a little bit. So before you were doing YouTube, was there any other idea of what you wanted to do, I guess? Or once YouTube kind of started going, you kind of figured out, okay, I'm going to stick to this, or was there any other thing that you kind of wanted to do in life before YouTube really took off?
I was very lucky because at a young age, I always kind of knew what I wanted to do. At age like 11, I knew that I always wanted to be into graphic designing. Like I was like into like the Call of Duty scene, you know, trick shots, quick scope, no scopes, you know, played in COD.
I've seen those videos,
I mean,
elite stuff.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, Windows Movie Maker, brilliancy. Okay, it's amazing. So I had a few friends, and like they got like YouTube channels. They got like like they got banners and whatever it used to be called. And I said, oh, I want to like make like a a banner for my channel. I was like, oh, okay. What do you use? He's like, oh, Photoshop. I'm like, okay, I illegally downloaded Photoshop. Definitely.
Right. Allegedly. We're not incriminating ourselves on the show.
Sorry, Adobe. I definitely owe you that £400 when I was 11. Anyway, so I started making like
with inflation, that's like $3,000 right now. So Adobe, if you're listening, cash in on my guy. This is.
I'm getting a phone call, man. I can't wait for this. Way to be in the news. But basically, I made like his little stuff for channel, and it was like, oh, that's amazing, even though it was utterly shit. And I like got like ego because I was like, wow, this guy likes me because I did this for him. So I felt like I was like useful at something in life.
Sure.
In a weird way, because I was just a fat tribicon. That's what I was. So like I had like some sort of purpose. So like I made like some more people's thumbnails, and basically from that I got like into graphic design and making thumbnails and titles, whatever else like of like my YouTube mates. And then I just thought, okay, well at college, high school, there's graphics, there's graphic design, so I just got into that. So I knew that if YouTube didn't happen, I would probably just finish my uni course and just, be in the world of graphic design, making stuff for companies, probably being involved with a football-based company, hopefully be in that world of creative design, which is a bit mad because looking back on it, I don't think I learned that much at uni than what I did beforehand. Like, I mean, experience. Like, if you're anyone that wants to get into the creative world, then experience is the main thing. People don't really care about degrees nowadays. I know more than 10 people like who are still taught nowadays from back at uni. They got degrees. I think only 2 of them actually got a job from the degree. The rest of them, they're either unemployed or they just do jobs which has nothing to do with what they actually went there to go and learn. Because so many people have degrees, it's overinflated. So like,
that's what this field is, right? You need that special factor to separate yourself. And what better special factor than you actually going out and proving, hey, I did on my own channel design and I have 200,000 subscribers. I figured out a way to organically grow my audience. Whereas some guy with a degree says, yeah, I've finished the degree. I've got all this. They're like, cool. What did you do with it? Like, I don't care. Like, good job.
I feel like advice was people like, they ask me advice on my streams and I'm like, experience is the main thing as long as you're not doing something to do with like you're being a lawyer or architect
or an engineer or something super technical.
Like this is key. And for example, I presume you may ask me, but like let's say if 5 years time my YouTube just goes pow and it's completely dead, whatever else, I have absolutely no issues with my livelihood because I've made so many connections with this job, with many companies, Sport Bible, even Burnley Football Club and everywhere else that's, Copper 90 that I've been involved with in videos that I know that my profile, my portfolio is very unique and I don't think many people can really hit it, that I've done all this myself. I can edit, graphic design, I can organize, I can do finances, I can do emails, I can be creative, I can film and edit and like everything. I'm like the full package. So for the companies I've already got links with, I've got no issues that, let's say next week my channel goes dead and that I get 0 money per month. I could probably just go and work for Copper 90, or I could probably just go and dream really is to work for Burnley Football Club. Like one of the main media guys there.
A media director or something, or a social media coordinator or whatever, one of those jobs.
Like that's my dream, and like I would love to like go across the country with Burnley Football Club and like do all the filming and I can edit it and camera work, and I'll honestly I'll love that. That's like my dream.
That's something like that's like most people would probably not even think about like as an end goal, right? Because that's like a super, it's really a genuine end goal. Because like realistically, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that love Burnley, but not so much that they would say like, oh, my dream is to work for Burnley. That's someone that's actually like legitimately passionate about the club and would just to be involved in any kind of way, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been involved with them before for like the Premier League. to that. I don't think the actual main media manager, I can't say his name, but I don't think he's a massive fan of me. But I think that I don't know if he's been there for that much long anymore. I don't know. I just think he's not a massive fan of me. So I feel like if there's someone else, they may get me involved a lot more. Like I've always like I know people behind the scenes at Burnley. I always like offer them advice for YouTube. Like, oh, this is how you like that. This is how you can pursue and make a YouTube a lot bigger, expand to a bigger audience. And they kind of just like, okay, that's cool. And then, okay, bye. Because you can understand that they want to do this, but they have to get approval. And the main approvals of the media manager. And he's not a massive fan of YouTube. He doesn't really see the point in it. So they need him.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a shame, man. But like, that's my main, I guess, end goal. And like, no, like, I think most guys in FIFA scene, they hope that they can just go work for EA, not for me.
I mean, that really is like 90% of the people, which is unfortunate. I don't know. I'm not about it either. Maybe a while ago I would have thought like, yeah, that would have been a cool thing. But like, once you know how the sausage is made, you really don't want to. You don't want to be there.
You don't want to chomp that sausage. You don't want to do that, man. That's unsafe, man.
All right, beef. We gotta talk about beef. I feel like you've had more beef than anyone else I know in this FIFA community, bro. What's the beef stuff? Haber. Then you had like that. Oh, I forgot the guy's name. Thorgan mixtape. He did a terrible mixtape.
Like what other beef stuff? I forgot more stuff.
He did a terrible diss track. Like I couldn't watch that without throwing up. I'll be honest, I was ass. Like I was so disappointed.
Is there any other beef like other than Fogden and Ryan? Or
is that it? That still seems like a high number for anyone in the FIFA community. Like I don't remember like too many crazy beefs. Like I remember like Kurt just picking fights with everyone, but that's about it.
I mean, let's get one out the way with like Fogden. Like that wasn't like a serious sort of beef. I think like his diss track was just about like Burnley shit.
Yeah.
Burnley shit.
Yeah, you worked a regular job. Ugh, gross.
Wasn't anything serious at all, to be fair. So like, yeah, me and him are cool now. Like,
yeah,
it was like all of like some like little like Twitter kind of like memes, like like. I remember like no, but I remember how it happened because I was like hinting of me doing a diss track on EA because like diss track was like a thing back then, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll do a diss track on EA, which I actually did, which I thought was actually not that bad comparison to.
You did a few diss tracks; they're not bad. You did a few.
I thought that was actually not right one considering it
was solid.
I think
it's
it'd be
brave. It's a brave thing to explore. Doing music of any kind as a fucking FIFA YouTuber.
I talk quite fast, so I can kind of maybe try and hit that kind of somewhat flow, which I don't know. I thought it was okay, but because I was hinting at it, kept on like tweeting at me saying, "Oh, everyone the likes saying, I dare you will not diss track me. Oh, I dare you to diss track me." And like, but at a stage, he was smaller than
begging.
me. Nowadays, he's blown up. He's got like 400k now. He's fucking fair. He smashed it, really has. But back then, he was like, "Oh, diss track me." I was like, "Yo, bro, like, how would I give you the benefits of that?" And then like I bit back and like one thing over, and I kind of made him look a bit silly, and then basically he just did a diss track back at me, and I was like, okay, but I never took it serious. Like I didn't do a diss track back. I just reacted to it like, okay, the fuck was that? And then just kind of laughed it off, and I was like, okay, that's me done.
Right. I mean, your reaction video has more views than the diss track. I still think it does. Maybe not, but that was the funnier part.
Which that's always a good sign, really.
It was more entertaining to watch the reaction video, to be honest. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like I always kind of just thought, like, that was a bit of fun. Like, I think if I did a diss track back, it may have made it more serious than what it actually should be. Because,
right.
was
he the smaller YouTuber at the time? Was he the smaller YouTuber?
I was big at the time. Like, I think I had like more. I had like 140, 150, and he had about like, I think it was touching like, I think it was like 110. I think he just
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but like the guy, like he was like, remember back in the day, like he always tweeted at me like, oh, like I made this video, can you like check it out? Because like I started doing like Burnley vlogs, and like because I was like a northern guy, and I wasn't the main person doing football vlogs, but I was like one of the main ones in the lower leagues, I think, because I was in championship stage, and like he made these Bolton vlogs, and he kept on atting me on Twitter like, oh, check it out, can you give me opinions? Because he was like a fan, and he's
right,
always,
sure.
He always said that he was a fan, and like he likes my videos. So like I was always like memeing it, and I always knew that he didn't actually hate me because like for that reason alone. So I thought, it's just a bit of fun, have a bit of laugh back and a bit of bite back, but that was never too anything serious. In comparison to the other beef, which
the other
just
one
thing in itself.
So what do we? You moved into a YouTuber house. Yeah, like this is the bigger part of the story, right? When did that happen? Why would you even consider this idea? Living with other YouTubers is such a terrible idea from the outside looking in.
I don't know like too much into it because like it's kind of happened. It's kind of like somewhat dead and buried now. Like other guys in the group I've not really spoken to other than like two. Like I've just let them do their own thing. But I was mates with these guys. I was in Discord calls with them for like 2-3 years. It's like like when you're like just bored at your house and you thought, oh, who's about? And there's always like the same 2-3 people that's always online. So I thought, I'm playing some FIFA. I'll just call them, and I thought, okay, cool. And these guys were always just harmless. Like, they were like sound lads, and always just got in calls together, really. And over time, just kind of always thought about was I think 1 or 2 people they kind of wanted to move out, and I was always moving about, and the idea kind of popped up, and it took a long time for it to actually hit, but one day it finally hit, and I thought, okay, well, I want to move out anyway. Burnley, and I thought, okay, this is cool house, and nearby Burnley as well, so I can still go games, and I'm with some other lads which I talk to on a regular basis. So I thought, okay, it sounds like a good idea, and like it was actually really enjoyable. Like it was actually like I have many fond memories of like the first couple of weeks and the first month there. I actually really enjoyed it because it was like a like little bonding session each day. There's always someone about to talk to. You could always just go play some football, go get some food, and it's always like there's always someone there for you. I kind of enjoyed that really.
And you're all doing the same thing basically, which is kind of rare. It's almost like an actual office and not office environment, but like at least you guys have a set goal that you're all in a similar boat, right? Like you're all making FIFA content.
It was like one ideal, like so like one of them was like a pure streamer, and the rest of them. I mean, the rest of us, I swear we all did like the same videos. I swear, like me and like the other like 4, we all did the same sort of style of video. And I kind of was put back on it, like thinking, how did you think that would work when we all do pretty much the same content? We're not, but we're just all sort of like full champs based videos with a bit of packs here and there. And it literally, I thought like looking back and thinking, we're literally all the same content creators. Like, this is mad. It's mad. But I mean, most people did more videos than others. Like, I know one lad who woke up like 8 each day, and he was just in his room the entire day to like 11, and did not leave like more than like 2 times to like go toilet. And he was just a workhorse, and I respect the guy massively, man. It was a beast.
Awesome. That's crazy. So yeah, I was gonna ask you, are you ever gonna make another Q&A? Because in the last one, your sister was ruthless. I've never seen a man get so destroyed by a sibling on video. And then you made another Q&A again. To
be fair, she was my stepsister. And honestly,
ruthless.
That's like 4 years ago. Wow, that's such a long time ago. I look like
my research.
I'm like a completely different person from that, man. That's mad. Right. I kind of told her to like be like ruthless and be like don't like like put your foot off the gas, because like people kind of won't care if you're like, oh, what's this worst thing? Are you smelly? Like just call me a virgin or something and just make me cry. And like
that's a funny like thing. Tell her like, make me cry on camera, please. My subs will love it.
I put like I was a virgin at that time, so she was like, "Oh, he's a raging virgin." I'm like, "I'm a raging virgin." Fuck, I can't like clap back as I am. It's like fuck.
I told her too much.
That's before I went to uni. So I was just there like an absolute like scrawny. Because I was like a proper fat bastard. Then I just like I hit puberty. Then I just over the course of like 6 months. Looking back, I never actually realized how like skinny I really was. But I went from like proper chubster beast. Like,
what did you do?
Thick man. Honestly, like when people ask me, I just say I ate a bit less and I played football more and I hit puberty. That's the only thing I can actually explain. I never didn't go gym. I didn't go under a strict diet. I still ate like I still drank like Pepsi Max, and I still like I had normal food with my family. They just fed me a bit less than usual, and like that was really it.
That's crazy.
So I literally turned into a literal stick man. And the worst part is though, because I've got like a couple of like mental things. I thought I was still fat. Looking back on that, it was like a little tiny bit. I had like a tiny bit of trouble in my belly, and I thought that must be gone. That must be gone. That must be gone. I'm not skinny because that is still there. Like,
Right.
then looking back, I was like, you could see my collarbone like so popping out. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
what the fuck happened to me, man? I'm wearing these shirts and I'm literally like fucking just that. Literally just that, like nothing else to me.
Right.
Looking back, it's just
Damn.
a weird time of my life that.
Well,
And
that's
it's
good.
different.
Now you're doing now you're a comfortable weight. I assume you're good. You're doing all right.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I gained a bit of weight when I first moved here, but like I'm
That's the food. That's the food. Don't even count.
I'm
that.
like 78 kg now, which is like that's below
pretty
average.
normal.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I do want to because I play football a lot more now, so I'm definitely a lot more fitter than when I was before. Like with let's say the lockdown, I got into a stage when I was still back in England that I had like a Copperberg. You know Copperberg? That in US.
The drink?
It's a Swedish.
It's like-
It's a Swedish cider.
Cider. I do know it.
It's still being
So
online.
good.
I like a can of that, like 2-3 cans
It's
of
a
that like, every
problem.
night. I just love the taste. Then when you drink
so
alcohol,
much sugar.
yeah, it adds up a lot more, especially when you're locked down and I'm not near any of my friends, so I can't just go back home and just play some football. So I gained a lot of weight about 10 kg. So I had to sort that
Right.
out.
Well, that's good. You're in a good place now. I'm happy for you. What do you think about? I don't know. You're probably a big component of the loot boxes going on, and what do you think the future is for loot boxes in FIFA? Do you think there's any hope that we, get rid of them or regulate them at least?
I feel like if it's happened in Belgium, that I feel like it will happen eventually. Like I can't see a world where like they just kind of just keep on letting it slide. Like I'm seeing more and more articles by the week, by the month of more. I think Netherlands came out today.
Today, yeah, Dutch.
It's like 5 million, like sort of like tally on EA saying like the longer you leave it to like get back to us, the more money we're gonna find you or something.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be
I've
nice.
not looked at that too much, but I just mainly hope, or it makes me feel sick, man. It makes me feel sick. I'll be honest. Like it doesn't give me a good feeling at all. Looking at, I see it on both sides. I see it from a content creator point of view, and I see it from the normal casual viewer.
Sure.
And I know people, which I can't say their names, but I know people who literally they spent so much money on this game, the purpose of content creation. But the issue is though, we know that you get more views on Twitch, for example, if you're opening packs nonstop.
Right.
It's my biggest people on the scene, other than Run the Foot Market or all pack opening streamers. That's not
Right.
thing of that's not their fault. It's not their fault for that because that's the market. They know that that's how much that's what people want to see, especially on
Right.
Twitch. And people who may not make that much money and they spend more than 50% of what they earn just on this game. Because they go on Twitch, if let's say around viewer, let's say 50 viewers, almost just play some games, do some SBCs. Go tweet out, put in title, 12,000 people upon pack opening, and doubles, quadruples to like 200, 250 viewers, and they get that rush. Like, oh, I got the viewers, that is banging, and then they open a 12K, which they just spunk on £80 worth, and then the viewer count
Goes down.
Goes from 200, 250 viewers to like 50. And then I'm gonna say like, guy, you got like one sub in the entire time you did that. So you've lost
Right.
yourself like £75 worth of cash in that one sitting. And this is the one issue because they look at that. It's like from a content creator, because you know what works, but it costs you money. That's why fair play to Castro and Bates, because they make so much money from YouTube and sponsors and Twitch that they can just keep on putting money in the game because they get that back. If you're a smaller lad, or even a mid-range channel, you can't do that. But mentally, it really messes them up because they're going to put money in to get content, to get viewers, but then they end up having no money back into it for themselves. It's mental, bro. And with a viewer, there's such a gap between the content creator and the viewer now. There's such a massive gap between team and everything. Like, I've never seen a gap as wide as this before in any FIFA community. Like,
right.
This feels so far apart.
It's going to be interesting what happens in the next year or so as this becomes more of a problem and more regulated. Like, what happens to these big guys like Castro and Bateson when, I don't know, packs are frowned upon or...
EA will find a way around it. They're not dumb. They make as much as they do because they are in terms of marketing and all that stuff, they're an absolute genius company in terms of getting the absolute maximum out of your assets. Financially,
I can see that perspective. I can see another perspective though. I can see it from another way. most things in life, especially like empires and big companies, kind of have a rise and fall. So another way to look at it is like nothing in life is really permanent. You know, like the Romans thought they were going to be the conquerors for the next 1,000 years, but that fell through, right? So I think EA has gotten to a point where they're just gotten so greedy and so complacent with how horrendous the game is that, I mean, what's realistically stopping another competitor besides the license thing, that's huge, obviously, but that's not like, it's not a crazy thing to say, okay, well, these guys are always going to have a way out or they're going to find another way. Because right now, their biggest money source is packs, and packs are gambling. So I don't know. For me, it's going to be really interesting. I think next year is going to be the big decider of like kind of what I want to do in content. Do I want to just completely, jump ship and never touch this again? Because the game is like, it's been literally 4 years, in my opinion, since the game has been enjoyable. Like the last time I enjoyed FIFA, like legitimately enjoyed, was 17. Like, it had connection problems, but 17 was enjoyable. Then these last 4 years, to me, I just can't play it. It's not fun.
I'm in a weird situation because I still get like elite in FUT champs, and I feel like I do want to enjoy the game. Like, I always put myself in a weird spot because like people are like, wait, so you like don't like the game and you say this and that, but yet you still play it. And I'm like, because my main issue is that I think the game can be enjoyable at times. The actual gameplay can be really fun. You play the games at 8 in the morning and 2 in the morning, UK time, and it's amazing gameplay. Just that it's a completely different game into the servers and like how fast your players move and pass and dribble. That it just feels like a different experience. That's my main annoyance. That I actually enjoy the game. It's smooth, it's nice and enjoyable when it's that nice gameplay. It's just you get that so rarely, which it makes me so annoyed because it's there. Potential is there, and that's my main annoyance. That I feel like it's just a simple thing as just server issues, which. It's just a simple thing for me.
Yeah.
And it was like gambling. I've had like my own personal experiences. Like, I asked my chat this like days ago. But when you were like 13, 14, you may have like had like your parents' bank account on your console, and you may have sneakily like spent like £13 or £12 or £40 of like your parents' bank account on some fuel points. Because you think, I did not notice that. It's like £10. And I did that when I was like, I can feel 13. I did that. I ended up spending like £600-700 of my dad's money.
Really?
Without him even knowing a single thing. In like 9 months, it was a full year. So we found out why is it all this Microsoft transactions. And I got the biggest fucking slap in my arse in my life. I asked my dad that, like, have you ever like spent money on like your fuel points without like maybe your parents' bank accounts and they didn't know? And like most of my chat was like, yeah, I've done like once or twice. Because like you're a dumb kid. You don't know the value of money. You don't know the value of money. You think that's £50.
It goes away so quick too. You don't even think about it. You open a pack, you're like, I know it's $5, let's say, or look, mega pack was like $5 or $10 or whatever. Like that's crazy. You've blown $10 in a second.
That's the mental thing. You can spend £12 worth and you open 5 packs. And you're like, okay, that's it.
I always equate this thing to like gambling at a casino. Like this is the crazy part about FIFA to me. From like you talk about Castro and all these guys, and I personally not a fan of any of them, just because to me, like from a moral standpoint, I can't be arsed to be basically, realistically, let's be honest with each other, a gambler on stream. What's the difference between Castro, who's opening, let's say, $10,000 of packs on stream, and a guy that's at the casino opening slots or pulling the slot machine? The only difference is the animations are nicer and it's associated with a football game. But the other big difference is you don't actually get any of that money back. At least when you're a casino, you potentially have a chance to get some money back, but the money you put into FIFA is money you'll never see again. It has zero value.
The difference with Castro and everyone else is that they do get the money back based on.
They do get that. That's from their perspective. I understand from their. I'm just saying, like
if you're just a random guy and just inside your own house and you spend $5K in this game, like that's fucking pointless.
Freedom, right? Do whatever you want.
If you're a casual, like, by the way, if you're above the age of 18, I frankly don't care what to put your money on. I could recommend to not put your money onto this game because I find it just. The value is literally so off the charts in the goddamn fucking bin that there's no point in bothering. You know, like it's like £14 for a 100k pack. A guy, I've opened like 20 odds so far. Half of them are
You can live in Poland for a year with that money, dude. You
all
can
of them
live.
are fucking Libertadores players. Like Libertadores players who come up like oh, it's like so sad to get Castillos and not even balls at times. Like it's the biggest fucking fraudulent packet of all time, man. Yeah, like if you're like over age 18, do whatever you want your money. Just be careful, really. And because I feel like people like they take like a personal aspect. They're like, bro, it's my money, bro. Why do you care so much? I'm like, because I feel like you are being a fucking moron if you put on more than like £500.
Right.
If you put like fucking £10 maybe like once a month, then sure. I think it's fucking pointless. But sure, if you want to go do it, be my guest. But in terms of the community and that, you say Castro, you know that people love to see packs. They get more viewers. Therefore, they get more money from advertisements, subscriptions, and donations. And for those big upper echelon, big boys, pie face, all them lot, nothing but to those guys because they're doing what they have to do to get the most money, that is the main thing. And they've fortunately got in a position where they can earn a lot more money by putting money in the game, and it's seen as an investment.
I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying from their perspective. I'm just saying, like, for me, it's a moral thing. It's not even a money thing. Business wise, it's a great idea. I mean, realistically, if you can put in $10,000 a year into FIFA points and you get 100 back, like that's just good business, right? But I don't know. That's not the way I see it. Obviously, it's we can agree to disagree.
I always would recommend. Like, I know that Pie Face says it a lot. That says, "Yo, like, this isn't worthwhile." Come to my streams if you want to see packs and you get a pack fits. Let me do the packs for you. And I always see him. He always recommends. He always says, like, that this isn't worthwhile. Don't put money in the game. And that's the main thing. Which is the main thing. You can do whatever you want. You can't always add, like I've spent. I know I forgot his name, but he always says, like, oh yeah, I've spent X amount so for the stream. I've spent $3,000 a stream, and I've not got I got like 3 walkouts. Or, like they always remind people, like, yo, this is what I've got from this amount of money. Yeah. And I feel like as long as they do that,
that's something. That's at least something. Yeah, that's fair.
As long as they don't promote it. Like I saw a tweet from a big game changer. Did you see that? Which I replied back to like last week.
No. You said you also want to talk about Corey. I don't want to forget about that.
I don't want to say his name, but like it was a massive game changer that pretty much like in a way promoted the idea of having like a God squad. Saying that it's much better to have a God squad and have like 6 million coins and just easily play the game and get gold free than having an RTG team and stressing out the entire time on FUT champs. Like, don't promote.
He told you this in a chat or just a tweet?
No, he tweeted out. It's basically saying, having a 6 million coin team and getting gold free easily over using an RTG team and stressing out. And I saw that thinking like, I don't know if you're trying or like, you didn't really mean to like basically promote the idea of having a God squad, and ideally the only way to do that is to put money in the game. But that's basically what he's doing. And he deleted it and he apologized. It's just like if I see that, I'm gonna call it out because I feel like we have a fucking responsibility that we all know that most of our viewers are 13, 15, 16-year-old kids. That's we can't be having that, man. And he may think I'm a dickhead. Sure, he probably thinks that, but like, you do whatever you want your money, just don't promote that shit to kids. Simple as that.
I've heard a similar thing from a similar game changer. It was like, I don't know, playing the game on like with some like base players, and like you give them like feedback, and it's like, oh, you haven't even played the game yet. You don't even have the fucking actual squad. Like, why are you giving me feedback? With these like players you didn't even put money into. Like, it's like we've gotten to this point where like you need to have like a million coin team just to have like a base experience that like is enjoyable. Like, it's kind of disgusting. Like, like why can't I have a decent time with a limited amount of players that like I can afford? Right? It's gonna be tougher. Right?
I had like a million coin team, and I basically just said, you know what, fuck this. Was that I want Ronaldo. I want Cristiano Ronaldo. So I thought, I'll just sell everything. I'm just going to use a 20k team. Which I got like, some players like Carrasco and Llorente and like, some pretty decent like meta-ish players, but very cheap price, like 1k, 2k each. I'm beating people in Div 1 with that quite easily. Like, you can have a decent team, or like a very cheap team and still do well if you are a decent player. If you're a
Hey, you're just an elite alpha, my guy. You moved to Poland, secured a Polish bag and Facebook bag. You're just at elite level right now. It's not even about the FIFA anymore. It's just confidence that you're oozing, you know?
It's just ego. That's all it is. That's all it is. I want to say about game changers that, like, I know a lot of them, and most of them, they're not bad lads at all. Most of them, they do want the best for the game. Especially the career mode lads. The career mode lads, I say MGH. He sent me a literal PowerPoint presentation that he sent to EA about like what you should do with the game and how to improve it. And I remember he sent me that like months ago, and I like compared them, and I think one thing actually got added in. I put like hours into this kind of shit. I was like, yo, I feel bad, man, because like especially the career mode lads, they want the utter best for this game, and like it's completely out of their hands if it happens or not. It's a shame, man.
Right, and there's not as much of incentive to add stuff in career mode as there's any other, or as there's Ultimate Team, right? So
yeah, like it's a shame. Like, he's such a nice lad as well. Like he tries to do what he can, but if it happens, it happens.
Did you ever get asked to be a game changer?
No.
Did you ever have the offer?
I've always been part of. I've had a coin sponsor since 2017. For me, like people kind of always ask me, especially when like the game changers, they got the game early. And I had a bunch of questions like, "Oh, don't you just like wish you were a game changer?" I'm like, "No, no, do I fuck?" Because like there's not even that. Like I had a choice. I could have been a game changer. You know, I mean, my content would be very different to what it is now, I guess. But like in terms of,
I had a choice. Would be a little bit different.
Yeah, very different. Like, but I had a choice of like financial stability, so I could pay my rent easy per month, even if I had a deadest month on YouTube, and I could get paid X amount of money guaranteed by putting a simple 15, 20-second intro. And for me, I would see the financial stability of that to pay my rent, especially when I first started off in Newcastle. Like that was huge for me. Like the extra my first ever coin like sponsored deal, it was like £500 a month.
That's huge.
And that was huge because I was living in I was like uni dorms, and I got back then I got paid like £300 a month from YouTube. And like back then I got paid really nothing, maybe £200. Like I had nothing, and I was living on a student loan. I had fucking nothing. I spent it all on Burnley games and bourbons and noodles, for fuck's sake. So that extra pound was like huge. And I saw that, I was like, yo, man, of course, if you stick with a guy with a current sponsor for longer, you get typically paid more because they see loyalty as a big thing. And I thought, would I rather have the financial stability of this? I get paid literal money per month, or I be a game changer. I get shit off the community
content.
I get a fucking t-shirt 2 or 3 times a year. And maybe invited to an event. Thing is, I know game changers who I lived with one, and they had the Berlin event. He did not even get invited because he wasn't seen as big enough. The literal game changer for like a year or two, and because he wasn't a big boy, he didn't get invited. I was gutted for him. I was like, "What the fuck? That's not on that." Like,
not all game changers are perked equally. Yeah, they're not all getting the same perks.
Like, you don't treat people like differently, man. Like that. I find that as a bit scummy, and like people say, "Oh, but like they get game early." It's like, yeah, but the thing is, though, I just don't think that really makes a big difference.
I agree.
When it starts to FIFA, I think that there's so many videos out at one time that there's only so many times you can see the same gameplay video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 8 people say, "Oh, amazing FIFA, brand new gameplay." They all do it at the same time, then it's just saturated already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're not watching your thing if you're like some random 20K YouTuber watching Castro, Bates, and all these guys that already have established audiences. So
I had a choice, and I went for financial stability, and I don't think anyone can give me issues for that at all, because like I'd rather have that.
Yeah, you gotta do what's best for you. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course, I guess that also leads into the Facebook thing as well.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna. This is the finale, I guess. How did this happen? It came kind of out of nowhere. Like I feel like everyone just in the same day, everyone announced like you had a group chat, and you're just like, all right, guys, 7 of us are going to Facebook gaming.
Bro, man, I don't even know. I got hit up by Facebook last year, but the deal was like definitely nowhere near as like it's appealing. And I kind of thought, you know what, man, I may just say, thanks, but no thanks on that one. And this year, Facebook, they're going hard. They're going hard, man. They've got a lot of big boys to Pemphis and AJ3 and everyone else. And
they want to be a big player in the space, right? They're committed.
Yeah. And the opportunities which they came up with, and like what they're offering, and it's like it's life changing shit. It's life changing shit, man. Like, I always want to be as open with my. I've always, every like 6 months, I always do like a talk, like sit down and just real talk, so video. I always like to be transparent to my community. And look, the deal that they were offering was literally life changing fucking shit, which I can to invest in, fucking secure my future. I mean, like it's mad. And of course, it's not just even just that, the financial side of it, but it's also, I feel like if I become like a big person on that scene, I can move the platform forward. It's a 12-month contract. If they see me and I'm trying my best, trying to move the platform forward and really trying to like take it serious, then I could not just get like another contract maybe in the future and have even more financial security, but also.
There's no loss for you. What's the risk? What's the actual risk here? Is there really not much risk, right? Is there?
I mean, I guess it's just like about respect of like a few people in the community and shit.
Oh, who gives a shit? Fucking
people are like, sell out. I'm like, yo, I'm just saying, if you're in my position, if you're in my spot, you do the same thing. But also because there's so many more people that's now going to Facebook, that there's now actually probably more eyes there now. So it's not like it's just me and that's it. There's a bunch of other people. Yeah. So like, there's actually more people. You
didn't sign a deal with the devil for some fucking weird shit, like you're doing satanic rituals in the background. You just went to a different streaming platform. Why would anyone make a big deal out of it? Like, I don't get it.
It's literally the same stream, and like people going about Facebook and like personal information. Like you can make your own page, your profile, and have your own username, so no one can find out who the fuck you are and where you're.
So dumb.
Like, you can make your own page. So that's your username basically. Sure. So like, I would not have gone over to Facebook if like you could not have that option to be your own private like username. I would not have gone. I know that's a big thing, but you can, and some people decide to do that or not to do that. So Facebook is a massive thing, and like I feel like anyone in my position or anyone's spot would do the same thing. Would do the same thing, man.
Well, that one, what's her name? Shauna Games was like one of the people that I first saw, and I remember she had like 3,000 plus subs or something like that. And when I saw her like switch to Facebook, with knowing that, like that to me tells me, okay, they made an offer like that was way juicier than that, because realistically, if you're risking 3,000 subs on Twitch, which you are kind of risking, right? Like you don't know what revenue you're going to get from the actual like subscribers on YouTube or Twitch or on Facebook, but the offer is so good from Facebook that you don't even care. So
I mean, it's kind of play. It's kind of well known now that if you hit it with Facebook, that means bag. Facebook equals bag. Like,
equals bag.
I'm
emoji.
I'm not gonna lie about it, man. Like it,
nah, you don't have to actually. Like, no, there's nothing to really defend here. It was just an interesting topic, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of people going over, and people's like, "Yo, why is this happening?" It's like, "Yo, it's a massive opportunity." Also offers a deal which no other company can really offer, and like. With being a YouTuber, I guess you never know how long you could be doing it for, and it's a 12-month contract.
Sure.
Before I can go do some mad shit with that, and I can try and invest with that, and it could be for even longer. So.
People that are hating on it aren't really your fans. If we're being honest, like people that are actually your fans would be happy that you're, secure and financially able to continue doing what they love, like for you to do, which is streaming content.
I'm still doing like. So like I just do that, and I no longer do YouTube videos. I do uploads every fucking day. Like that's my main thing. That's my main thing, honestly. Forever and always. Like maybe like a couple of years time, can maybe try and switch over to a Twitch, because I feel like older audience. I think that Twitch is definitely probably the play. So let's say if I get older, I'm thinking that I could try and pursue streaming. So I feel like that could be more in terms of longevity, be a better idea. I was thinking about that. Of course, with this Facebook.
Okay,
thing,
that's a good. That's like, well, no, I'm actually already over time flew by. The last thing I guess we can talk about is, do you think this is like a sustainable thing in the future? You're a pretty young guy, but like, do you see streaming and YouTube still being a thing in your like, I don't know, late 30s, 40s? What
30s.
Do you think there's a ceiling?
I don't think there's a ceiling. I don't think though. I don't think there is. Like, I feel like you could always like change your content, and my personality changes. Like, me from when I was 18, 19, doing fucking D-Money, fucking screaming videos. Like, I'm not the same person for that, but I'm still the same person, kind of, but just a bit more milder now, because it kind of looks a bit fucking weird if you're 22 and you're still kind of acting like an 18-year-old. Like, you've got to grow up at some stage. Yeah. And, I hope that I've still got plans to still be with streaming and still be with YouTube, and I've literally never thought about not being that once, because I still do double uploads all the fucking time. I still do uploads every day, all the time. I've not slowed down.
Are you
that
burned
one.
out? Do you feel like you're burned out or no?
I don't think I ever burn out.
No.
I don't think I ever burn out, because like, my literal rule of thumb and like my motto, like when it comes to YouTube, really, it's a song by Bugsy Malone. It's called "Moving," basically. And the song basically says like, the moment you stop, you're dying. The moment you stop, you're dying. And each day you got to keep it moving. And basically, like sometimes like you fucking drop the top, fucking realize that you are on top. And you're going to realize that you got to fucking keep moving forward, because the moment you stop, you are fucking dying. With YouTube, if you take a fucking week break, that could actually be a massive difference. And I don't think in the last 5-6 years I've ever took a break longer than like a week. Because my mental health is now completely based on YouTube. In terms of, if I don't upload, I'm seriously like worried, thinking my channel's gonna fucking die. Fucking hell, like I get scared, like big time, because I'm so used to doing this every day. I'm so used to doing a video every day for the last 5 years of my life. I get sincerely scared if I do any sort of break, like if I go on a holiday. And of course, this is from issues of like, my girlfriend, but she's like, oh, let's go away to like, holiday. I'm like, okay, I need to like make a bunch of videos beforehand to like upload that. She's like, why can't you just go away? It's like, it may not even make a difference, but for me mentally, I'm just scared, thinking I've got to fucking upload. I've got to upload, man.
That's not a bad thing. That's a positive, right? That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I've never had that fire ever leave me since 2013. Never had that fire leave, because it was the one thing YouTube which has kind of took me out of my shit all fucking life before I was, like a fat chubby cunt which had like fucking no friends at all, and my only character trait was YouTube. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a YouTube kid. Like that was all I was at like high school. I had like my little small friendship group at high school, and then I was like to the rest of the school, the YouTube guy. And like that was what I kind of thrived off. And like I was so convinced of like I want to be the YouTube guy, like my friendship group, that I just kept on uploading. I was at college, and I worked at Mackey's for 2 years. I've also been at college, also uploading videos almost every day or every 2 days, and then also doing thumbnails for YouTubers like Matches Gamer, Reef HD's way back. I made all those thumbnails. Also fuck off for half of them. Also at the same time, I had a fucking social life. I played 5 aside 7. I did 5 aside 7 aside. I never fucking slept. Notice my family went out their way to fucking take off my internet router. They took away my laptop because I was editing at like 1 a.m. because I had no overtime in my videos. They went out of their way to like take away anything to do with YouTube, because they thought they knew what was best for me. And I will never forget that, because they always apologize. They're like, because they had my best interest in mind.
Right.
They didn't know what fuck YouTube was. So I never put that against them, but I always had that kind of like, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna go do this. I've had that since day one. It's just been, fuck you, this is me. I'm that fucking YouTube guy. And I feel like if I ever lose it, then I've got to kind of more sort of like realize that, I can't be this forever. I'm a lot more chilled in terms of like, okay, I could do this with like, in real life football teams and whatever else. Yeah. But like, it's been me for so long that like, I can't imagine me not having this right now, because it's just a daily fucking thing. And I feel like a lot of YouTubers, they have that sort of cycle where like, it really like mentally, it's like an addiction. Every time that I upload a video each day, there's that addiction. The minute before the video goes live, I'm like, still on. Each time. It's just the one. And it's like the first
show goes on, baby. The show must go on.
It's like, is this the fucking one that's gonna get fucking exploded? And like, I've gone and done like 1,800 videos now, almost 2,000. And each time that feeling has never left. It's just like, okay, another video. Here we go. And as long as that's never left me once, and I don't know if that will ever leave me, because like for me, that's my addiction. People are addicted to gambling, alcohol, drugs. Me, it may sound fucking proper and virgin like, but it's just uploading a video on YouTube, because that fuels me. It fuels me, man.
Hey, you've got the Polish girlfriend to prove it, all right? I don't want that kind of talk from you, all right? Well, that's a good, this is a good place to end it. Thank you for being a guest. Let people know where they can follow you. If they
I
don't
guess
know already.
my socials is official Vizeh on Instagram and Twitter, and YouTube is just Vizeh. That you may know how to spell it. If you don't know, then
I'll
good
link
luck.
it. It's fine. Yeah, I got you. We'll figure that out. But yeah, anyways, good luck with everything. Congrats on Facebook. Congrats on the move to Poland. And yeah, I don't know. I wish you all the best.
Honestly, to get on, I just love talking about fucking nothing. So I appreciate it.
Me too.
Love waffling. It's the best thing. I can make you can give me a photo of like a piece of cheese, and I can make a 10-minute fucking video out of that piece of cheese, man. It's a talent. Trust me.
Beautiful. Stay tuned for cheese videos. All right, guys. Peace.